This is 7th grade expressions and equations, standard 4B. It talks about inequalities. This will be a two-part series. Part 1 discusses writing and graphing inequalities, and Part 2 discusses solving inequalities. First, we need to talk about what an inequality is. An inequality is a mathematical statement that contains a greater than, less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to symbol. It's very similar to equations, and we'll make those connections in part 2 of the video. Well, once we've identified and defined what an inequality is, let's talk about what solutions to inequalities look like. If I give you something like x is greater than 3, this is verbalized as x is greater than 3. What number could I plug in for x to make that a true statement? Well, it's quite a few numbers that are greater than 3. So would 4 work? Well, I could see, is 4 greater than 3? Yes. Could I plug 13 in there? Is 13 greater than 3? Yes. So 4 and 13 were solutions to this inequality. All a solution is the number that you replace the variable with that makes the statement true. Okay? Quite simple. Next, let's talk about how to graph inequalities. And I'll erase this. Guys, where's my eraser? Gave me this tablet. Thank you. Let's talk about graphing inequalities. Inequalities are always graphed on a number line. Always. If it is greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, it's a closed circle. If it's greater than or less than, it's an open circle. That's going to mean something in a minute. So I'm going to draw an example up here. And this will be a basic inequality statement. Let's say n is greater than or equal to -3. I know my inequalities have to be graphed on a number line. Since -3 is the constant used in the inequality statement, it has to be on the number line. But the question is, where do I put it? Well, see what you need your solutions to be. I need my n's to be greater than or equal to -3. So then you say, well, Mr. Gray, can n be -3? Yes, because the inequality is greater than or equal to. So n can be -3 or bigger. So if I'm charting or plotting -3 or bigger, I need for my negative symbols to start on the left. That way, as I go right, my numbers increase. Do I have to put all these numbers on there? No, but I'm requiring you to in the beginning. Since there's a greater than or equal to symbol, I need a closed circle. Well, where do I put the closed circle? Since my constant is -3, the closed circle goes on -3. I need my solutions to be greater than, so I need to send my line to the right. Okay? Let's do another one. If I give you x is less than 1, I know I must draw a number line. And lines have to have the arrows on it because they continue on and on forever. I know my solutions have to be less than 1. So that means 1 can start over here on the right because my solutions are going to be less than 1. So I'll be traveling left. Since it's a less than or greater than symbol, I put an open circle on negative on 1. Don't close it. And my solutions have to be smaller than 1, so I need to travel to the left. You should remember this from 6th grade. Okay? Well, Mr. Gray, can I go the other way? What if I need to write an inequality? Okay? Guys, can y'all see this down here?
Yes. Yeah.
You can?
Yes.
Okay. What if I need to write an inequality? That means the number line, the diagram, is what you'll begin with, and you've got to write the inequality statement. So if I give you something like this, and I put -10, -11, -12, -13, -14. And if I put a closed circle here and go that way, it doesn't matter what variable you use unless your directions specify. So I'm going to use x. I know I've got a closed circle on -12, so my constant's going to be -12. Okay? I've just got to figure out which inequality statement to use. I know it's going to be one of these because my circle is closed. Now I got to figure out, where do my solutions fit in? Well, when I look at where I started and look at where I'm going, it looks like my numbers are getting bigger as they travel to the right. So I have to use greater than. And since it's a closed circle, it has to be an equal to. And that is how you write and graph inequalities. Stay tuned. And let's go ahead and put part 1 up here. Stay tuned for part 2.